In the heart of Abuja, there lived a beautiful and hard-working woman named Annabel. She was well known for her talent in tailoring, and over the years, her business had grown. People from all parts of the city came to her to have their clothes made. Annabel worked tirelessly, making enough money to support herself and her family. Her skills were sharp, and she had a good heart. She believed in helping those around her, whether it was offering a job to someone in need or giving food to the poor. One day, a man named Chijioke came into her life. He was tall, well-dressed, and appeared kind. He owned a small car rental business, though it wasn't as successful as Annabel's tailoring business. Chijioke saw the way Annabel was respected in the community, and he noticed the wealth she had gathered over the years. He didn't care much about love, he cared about the business. He thought, if I marry Annabel, I can secure my future. So, Chijioke started visiting Annabel's shop, chatting with her, complimenting her, and offering her sweet words. At first, Annabel wasn't sure what to make of him. She was used to people admiring her for her skills but not for who she was inside. But over time, Chijioke's persistence wore her down. He would show up every day, bringing small gifts and flowers, speaking about how much he cared for her. He told her stories of his struggles, how he had worked hard to build his business, but how he wanted to be a partner to someone who was already successful. Annabel, though cautious, began to like him. She was lonely, and Chijioke's attention made her feel special. Eventually, after months of courting, Annabel agreed to marry Chijioke. She believed that love was more important than money, but she did not realize that Chijioke's intentions were far from pure. The wedding was a grand affair. Annabel's friends and family came to celebrate, but even on that day, Annabel had a feeling that something wasn't quite right. She tried to push the thoughts away, believing she was just being paranoid. After the wedding, Chijioke moved in with her in her spacious home in Abuja. For the first few weeks, everything seemed fine, but soon after, Annabel began noticing strange things. Chijioke, who had once showered her with compliments, started to ignore her. He would spend most of his days away from home, claiming he had meetings with potential clients. He hardly helped around the house, and when he did, it felt more like a chore. Slowly, he stopped talking about love and started discussing finances more often. He would suggest that Annabel invest in his business or loan him money to expand, but Annabel began to notice that he was always the one making decisions without consulting her. As the weeks passed, Annabel realized the truth. Chijioke had married her for her wealth, not for her heart. He had only pretended to be interested in her to secure his place in life. The love she thought they shared was nothing but a farce. One evening, Annabel sat down to have a serious conversation with him. Chijioke, she said, her voice calm but firm, I've been thinking. You never wanted to know about me, my dreams, my life. You only wanted what I had. Chijioke didn't respond. He knew she was right, but he wasn't about to admit it. Annabel took a deep breath, feeling a sense of betrayal. But instead of reacting angrily, she made a decision that would change everything. She asked him to leave. Chijioke stood there, stunned, as Annabel calmly packed his things into a small bag. He didn't expect her to be so resolute. He had assumed that because they were married, he had the right to her wealth and her life. But Annabel had made up her mind. Annabel, please, he pleaded, his voice trembling. You can't do this. We're married. You can't just throw me out like this. But Annabel's face was firm. She had worked too hard for her success, and she had been too kind to people who took advantage of her. She wasn't going to let anyone, even her husband, take her for granted. Chijioke, she said, I gave you a chance because I believed in what we could build together. But you've only wanted to build off my hard work. This isn't a marriage. It's a business arrangement for you. You wanted my wealth, but you never wanted me. She pushed the bag towards him and turned her back to him, walking to the door. Please leave, Chijioke. I'm not the woman you thought I was. Chijioke hesitated for a moment, not knowing what to say or do. His plan was falling apart, and there was no way to make Annabel change her mind. The reality of his greed hit him all at once. He had played a dangerous game, And now he had lost. With a sigh, he picked up the bag, his shoulders heavy with shame. Without another word, he left her home, closing the door behind him. Annabel stood there for a moment, the sound of his footsteps fading away, and she allowed herself a brief moment of relief. The next few weeks were difficult. Annabel had to rebuild her trust in people. She had always believed in the goodness of others, but now she was more cautious. She focused on her business, pouring her energy into her tailoring work and reconnecting with her friends and family. They were shocked at what had happened, but they supported her decision. As time passed, Annabel found happiness in her independence. She learned that her worth wasn't tied to the wealth she had built, but to the strength and character she had shown in walking away from a situation that didn't value her. She discovered that there was much more to life than money or status. But Chijioke's actions weren't without consequences. Word about his deceit spread, and soon, people started avoiding him. His business failed to grow, and he found himself alone, with nothing but his empty promises to keep him company. Annabel, however, continued to thrive. She became known not only for her skill as a tailor, but for her courage to walk away from a marriage that didn't reflect the love and respect she deserved. And that's where the story leaves us. Annabel standing tall, a woman who refused to be used, who valued herself too much to stay in a situation that was never meant to be. As the months passed, Annabel's life began to shift in unexpected ways. While she had been heartbroken by Chijioke's betrayal, she had also discovered a strength within herself that she hadn't known existed. Her tailoring business continued to grow, and she gained more recognition for her work. People began to see her not just as a skilled seamstress, but as a woman of integrity and resilience. One day, as Annabel was working late in her shop, a woman named Rita walked in. Rita was a successful businesswoman from a neighboring town, and she had heard of Annabel's story. Rita was impressed by Annabel's work and admired her for having the courage to stand up for herself when others might have been too afraid to do so. "Annabel," Rita said, "I've been following your journey. You've shown incredible strength, and I think we can do something special together. How would you feel about collaborating on a project to empower young women in the community? I believe we can create something that will not only grow our businesses but also help others find their own strength." Annabel was taken aback. She had never thought about using her success to help others in such a way, but the idea sparked something inside her. She had always wanted to give back to her community, and now she saw an opportunity to do so on a much larger scale. Together, Annabel and Rita launched a mentorship program for young women, teaching them the skills of tailoring, entrepreneurship, and financial independence. Annabel's business grew even further as she passed on her knowledge and helped others build their own success. What began as a painful lesson in betrayal had turned into an opportunity to create a legacy that would inspire generations to come. But there was still one part of Annabel's life that remained a mystery. Was she ready to open her heart again after everything that had happened with Chijioke? Annabel focused on herself for now, but deep down, she knew that life had a way of bringing unexpected people into our paths. Would someone worthy of her trust come into her life? Only time would reveal whether love, the kind built on respect and honesty, would find its way back into her heart. Months went by, and Annabel's life continued to thrive. Her mentorship program flourished, and her shop became a hub of creativity and empowerment for young women. Through her efforts, many aspiring entrepreneurs gained the confidence to pursue their dreams, just as she had once done. Annabel's legacy was growing, one stitch at a time. However, even with her business booming and her heart healing, Annabel couldn't help but reflect on her past. Chijioke's betrayal had left a scar, but it was a reminder that her worth wasn't tied to anyone's opinion of her or what she possessed. She had learned to trust her instincts and recognize her own strength. The pain had made her wiser, but it hadn't hardened her heart. One afternoon, as Annabel was finishing up a fitting for one of her clients, she noticed a familiar face standing outside her shop. It was Elijah, a childhood friend she hadn't seen in years. Elijah had moved away after finishing university and pursuing a career in architecture. His gentle smile and warm eyes made Annabel pause for a moment. "Elijah," she said, surprised and pleased to see him. "It's been so long." "It has," he replied, stepping inside her shop. I heard about what happened, Annabel. I just wanted to check in. I always admired how strong you were, even when we were kids. Annabel smiled softly. Thank you, Elijah. It's been quite a journey. The two sat down for a cup of tea, catching up on old memories and sharing stories of their lives. Over the next few weeks, they reconnected, rediscovering the bond they once had. Unlike Chijioke, Elijah knew Annabel's heart deeply. He understood her passion, her struggles, and her dreams. More importantly, he respected them. Their conversations became deeper, filled with shared hopes and dreams for the future. Elijah didn't seek to take anything from Annabel. He simply wanted to walk alongside her, supporting her in everything she did. Slowly but surely, a new chapter began to form between them. A chapter that felt more like a partnership built on trust and mutual admiration. One evening, under the stars, Elijah asked Annabel to take a walk with him. They strolled through a quiet park, the sound of their footsteps gently falling on the grass. Annabel, Elijah began, pausing for a moment to gather his thoughts. You've been through so much. I've seen the strength you carry, and I've watched how you've built something beautiful from your pain. I want you to know that I care about you, not because of what you've built, but because of who you are. I'd like to be part of your journey. Annabel's heart swelled with emotion. She knew in that moment that Elijah was someone who truly saw her for who she was, not just the successful businesswoman or the survivor of heartbreak, but the person who had learned to rise above adversity with grace. Thank you, Elijah, she whispered, her voice filled with gratitude. That means more than you can imagine. Together, they continued walking, the future ahead glowing with possibilities. Annabel had finally found someone who saw her heart, not just her wealth, and who valued her for all the right reasons. And so the story of Annabel transformed into one of renewal and love, a reminder that even after the darkest storms, the sun can rise again, shining brighter than before. Annabel's journey teaches us the importance of self-worth and integrity. She learned that true love isn't about material gain or taking advantage of someone's success. It's about respect, trust, and valuing one another for who they truly are. Never settle for less than what you deserve, and always be true to yourself, no matter the obstacles. Annabel's strength and resilience remind us that even in the face of betrayal, we have the power to rebuild and find happiness again, sometimes in unexpected ways. What did you learn from Annabel's story? How did her journey resonate with you? Let us know your thoughts and reflections in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Your support means the world to us. Keep believing in yourself, and we'll see you in the next story.